heard all the way to San Francisco.
You're listening to Pod at the Palace with Curtis Wilkerson on Inside Arkansas.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Pod at the Palace post-game show. Man, that one is going to sting for a while, folks. Arkansas falls to Texas Tech 85-83 in overtime at the Chase Center in San Francisco. The Razorbacks led by as many as 16 in the second half, double digits late. Ran out of gas, made some questionable decisions. We can call it what it is, folks. It doesn't take away from the valiance of the effort, but it was a collapse there for the Razorbacks, and they went toe-to-toe with them in the overtime period, but Jacob Toppin took over, and Arkansas wasn't able to get the final shot to fall. And it's over the season for the Razorbacks. It was a magical run. I thought that the only way I would be really, really upset if it ended tonight, Andrew, was if they just got their doors blown off and they didn't look like they were ready to play. It turns out the thing that has plagued them all season long, getting a big lead and coughing it up, is what got him here at the end. Tough night for the Razorback fan base. You can be happy and proud of the guys, and you should be, for them getting to this point. But I know this one's going to sting. So let's vent. Let's get it all out, and we'll try to regroup from here. Tough one for the Hogs.
Yeah, man, this is a tough one. That played out about as perfectly as it could to gut check us and just punch us right in the balls as hard as possible. Like you said, you didn't think there was a way you could really be that upset with them unless it was something crazy. That was a tough pill to swallow. And like you said, it's over. That realization really wasn't in my brain. 'Cause, I mean, Arkansas controlled so much of this game. At no point until really the last couple minutes did I really consider the idea that they could lose. You had this game going into overtime, and it did go into overtime. And I don't think any Arkansas fan in the building, at home, even the Hogs on the court, felt great when it went into overtime, because like you said, you could kind of feel it coming. You could feel this storm. Yeah. I think Texas Tech ended the second half on a 16-3 run. It was 69-56 at one point. Just really sucks, man. And like you said, the thing that's been happening to this team all year caught up to them. We felt like Arkansas being in all those battles in the SEC would prepare them for moments like this, that they've had these situations where they've battled through adversity. They've had big leads. They've come back from deficits. They've blown big leads and then still found ways to win it. Like that Texas game down the stretch. There were so many games like this where we felt like that experience would maybe help Arkansas in this matchup. And I don't know, maybe it did, but it certainly didn't help in those final few minutes, man. It just felt like this team, like you said, ran out of gas, not having really anything out of a Duthier, who gave it a go, tried to participate, tried to get it going. Weren't able to really get much out of him. Boogie Fland also didn't have his best stuff tonight. Down the stretch, it just felt like Arkansas needed a little bit of extra juice, and the tidal wave was coming, man. And we'll do the whole bit about how this was still a great year, and we're glad they're in the Sweet 16, and this was a success. And we've already done that conversation and determined this was a successful season, no doubt about it. But in terms of tonight, this is a reaction show. We are reacting to this game. This one stings, and it's going to sting for a while. Eventually, one day, we will be able to look back at the season and say, you know what? Great run. Love that. They showed heart. They battled back this season. But tonight, man, this one, it's a really tough pill to swallow. And we'll look back at this one. It's really tough. Last thing I'll say, Curtis, before I turn it back to you, is that every NCAA tournament loss that Arkansas's had here lately, like we said, you've just kind of run into that team that you couldn't match up. And that we kind of weren't able to look back at some of these losses and be like, oh, man, Arkansas could have won that one. I didn't feel like Arkansas could have won that Duke game. I didn't feel like Arkansas could have won that Baylor game, but they, this was the one time Arkansas lost the NCAA tournament game here in this last little stretch where we're like, damn, they so much could have won that game and likely should have won that game. This sucks, man.
Yeah, and sorry for the camera glitch. I don't know what's going on there, but you can just listen to our words, I guess. Listen, they collapsed. Arkansas led for 39 minutes of this basketball game. And they lost. They led it by double digits for large stretches of the second half, and they lost. They had every opportunity to get it done at the end, and they didn't make the plays they need to. I mean, you're up by 8 with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left. You come out of a timeout. You take a quick three, an immediate three, miss it, get the offensive rebound, and then immediately take another three. Nelly, and hey, I get it. He was on a heater there. That's just stuff that you can't do down the stretch in games like this. You missed the front end of a 1-and-1 that could have potentially put it away there at the end. You chose not to foul up 3 on the last possession there, and then you gave up a 3. You had a guy who had gone for 30 points in the basketball game, and you give it to a guy who had not gone for 30 points in the basketball game for the final possession. And then you did it again in overtime when you needed 2 points to tie the game to force a second one. Shot selection went downhill. The defensive rebounding went downhill down the stretch. It was a collapse. I mean, it just was. And it's really a damn shame because, we talked about this morning when we were doing the show. I said, I kind of have the feeling that Arkansas might be able to overwhelm Texas Tech in this game. And they did for a long stretch. And then you could tell early in the second half, though, that maybe they were running out of gas a little bit. Hands were on the knees. Guys were looking a little bit tired. They were sweating. And, we talk about the lemon booty factor, and there might have been a little bit of that there down the stretch. But just a shame because, boy, they looked the part in there for such a long stretch of that game. You got the Nelly Davis game in the NCAA tournament. He was unbelievable. Goes for 30. Carter Knox, your freshman, goes nuts out there. So much working for you. And it's just crazy how just a couple minutes can change everything. And then now you look at it and you feel like and you did because you led for 39 minutes. Arkansas outplayed Texas Tech. A majority of the game, but not when it mattered the most. And those guys executed. And hats off to them, man, because they should have folded, honestly, when they got down by 16. And they didn't, and they kept chipping away. And those guys made big shots, big plays, and then JT Toppin took over in overtime. Yeah,
I'm glad you said that, Curtis. So much credit to Texas Tech because, man, I got to be honest, there were several moments in this game where, like you said, I felt like Arkansas was kind of getting to them, was overwhelming them, was kind of punking them at certain points, especially in that first half. I kept thinking, man, these dudes are going to quit. They're in a game that they're not ready for. We kind of were saying stuff like that coming into the game that Arkansas is going to thrive in this environment in here in Thrive City. We felt like they were made for this, and we wondered, hey, is Texas Tech going to be ready for this type of game? They were ready. They were absolutely ready, and you tip your hat to them. You mentioned how Carter and Nelly were knocking down shots. I mean, early in this game, you had this. I think Arkansas was 7 of 14 or something like that in the first half from three, and Texas Tech was 3 of 18. And so you kind of knew, like, okay, that's going to maybe normalize, kind of stabilize a little bit. You felt like a Texas Tech run was coming. What was so weird about it is, I said to Logan, I was sitting next to him, I was like, these next 4 minutes here to start the second half, that's where this game's going to be won or lost. Because if they're going to make a run, it's going to come early. They're going to come out of that second half desperate. And they really didn't. Arkansas builds the lead up to 16. And so I kind of felt like at that point, really, I mean, we've been confident about the matchup. I was really, really confident at that point. Arkansas couldn't get a defensive rebound down the stretch to save their lives.
Couldn't do it.
It felt like, you mentioned the shot selection and how there was a couple times where you're like, damn, you really took that three. Felt like Arkansas, Nelly Davis, really, a lot of these guys, DJ Wagner, were looking for that dagger, looking for that shot that's going to put them away, and it just never came. Looking for that defensive rebound that's going to put them away. It never came. Looking for that free throw. Carter Knox made a couple there, but like you said, Jonas Adu had that chance. It's just a tough one, man. Arkansas, this is one that we're going to look back all offseason, and we're going to look at 37 different plays in this game and be like, if that goes different, we're here. If that goes different, we're solid. Man, it just sucks. And it's like I said, it's like tougher to swallow because not only could Arkansas have won this game, like they really should have. And, we kind of forgot what it was like to have a loss like this in the NCAA tournament. And it certainly isn't going to do well to shut up the haters and the national narrative around Cal and him having his teams ready in these moments and his late game coaching, all that kind of stuff. And I don't even really know if it actually applies. But when you have a performance like that and you finish the game the way Arkansas did, you're going to have to just think about it all offseason, and that's what we're going to have to do. And, this program is going to have to kind of answer for some of that. But make no mistake, the Hogs going to be fine. The Hogs going to rebound. Like I said, in a week, we'll be able to look back and say, this is a great season. We're all good. But just right now, sour.
How does John L. Davis not touch the basketball on the final possession of regulation or overtime?
Yeah.
I do not understand.
How many times have we talked about that where we're like, what would you go to if the game was on the line? And, hey, there's been multiple times where we said, hey, DJ Wagner getting downhill. What sucks is he never really was able to get downhill. The shot to end the regulation was kind of semi there, but not really getting a good look either time makes it so much worse.
Just brutal stuff, man. And golly, dude. In overtime for the Razorbacks, there were so many big moments that happened there. Trevin with the baseline drive in the bucket. Carter with the and one. He hit the huge three in there. Carter. I mean, they had so many big plays right there. And man, Texas Tech just made one more down there at the end. Just, man. Tough stuff. Tough stuff. How many offensive rebounds did Arkansas give up in this basketball game? 22. So the last 28 against St. John's, and then they give up 22. in this game tonight. That was rough. That one possession where there were 6 offensive rebounds on one play. That was a rough one, man. Man, oh man. 8 of 32 Texas Tech was from 3. Arkansas 10 of 25.
Yeah,
And they
that's
lost
crazy.
the game.
And if you would have told me Arkansas hits 10 threes, specifically hits, we talked about this on the show today. When's the last time Arkansas hit 40% of their threes in an NCAA tournament game? They did it tonight, still lost. A number that jumps out to me, Arkansas forces 10 turnovers in this game, which is, or actually turns the ball over 10 times in this game. They force 8, but Texas Tech's able to get 18 points off a turnover. Arkansas gets just 3. They weren't able to convert on any of those opportunities. That's what's so weird about this. Arkansas in the half court got a lot of buckets. Like,
They shot, Arkansas shoots twice as many free throws as Texas Tech, and they made 19 of 22. But then they get beaten in the paint by 20. That was supposed to be the area of strength for the Razorbacks in this game, and they gave up 50 paint points.
Yeah.
Holy cow, man. And then at the end of the day with those offensive rebounds, because you look at the numbers and you're like, this doesn't really add up. It doesn't make sense. Well, at the end of the day, Texas Tech took 18 more shots from the field than Arkansas did, and it's because they were able to get those second chance opportunities and cash in on them.
Yeah,
Brutal, man.
There's a reason we were looking at the front court so much. And, credit to Arkansas's guards, because I felt like they really were up to the challenge. And I thought pretty much most of the game, they outplayed Texas Tech's guard. The Hawkins kid goes 1 of 10 in this game. I felt like Arkansas got the better effort there. Not the best day at the office for Jonas Ado. He was a lot better in the second half. Z, was out there a little bit. Trevin, I thought, was actually pretty good. He had that one drive late that I was really thrilled with. I think it was in overtime. But none of those guys really popped off. And Arkansas did a really good job containing Toppin for stretches of this game. But, it's just hard to keep a good player like that down. He ends up with a very calm and quiet 20 points, made some huge buckets for them down the stretch, especially in overtime.
Yeah, he did. All right. Anything else before we it's a reaction show. We've got a hard out at 11 or 1 a.m.
Yeah,
Central
1 a.m.
time or whatever. So why don't we go ahead and get to the chat and we'll let it carry us.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. That one stings, dude.
Yeah,
that one
stings.
really stings.
Yeah, I got it. Since you're leaning over, we'll start with our boy Spencer here. Says they did the only thing they could do to piss us off. We talked about that earlier. Kind of like if you could script a game that was going to somehow make us not grateful for this Sweet 16 appearance, this would be it. And again, we're going to be fine, and eventually we'll be able to look back. But this
I don't know.
Thing,
I actually think it's going to get worse when we look back at it because
yeah,
it literally is the one thing that you really couldn't afford to do there. It would have been one thing to lose this game by 2 in overtime, but to lead by 16 in the second half and freaking blow it. John Calipari did a lot of work to build good graces and kind of rebuild his coaching acumen reputation. And I don't think that this game right here, negates all that. But by God, I guarantee you it does to Jeff Goodman and Norlander and all those assholes who are going to be teeing off on him now. And you can't say anything about it because it happened. It's real. Yeah. It's a fact. They got to the Sweet 16, which is a great first step. But then it ends with a sour note. And that's the last thing that you get to remember until next year. That's brutal.
Maybe it's just what this program needs. What was that kid from? Was it San Diego State who was like, man, if you don't come to this summer, we're ready to work, man. You don't love the game. Yeah. This is the type of game this is like the bulletin board material for the offseason workout. Just have this box score plastered up there. You mentioned how many people are going to be dunking on Cal and dunking on Arkansas. There is certainly a lot of BBN celebrating in the chat, going nuts. But this Kentucky fan here, Happy Butters Blast, says, from a UK fan, you guys had a great ride, and Cal is back to being Cal. And I'm not here to rub in anything. I fully expect my Cats to lose tomorrow. So we certainly soften the blow if Kentucky would go ahead and shit down their leg tomorrow. But we appreciate the kind words. Happy Butters Blast. Like you said, we always do this thing where the results are what they are, and we all build our narratives off what the results are. And so it's kind of tough for Arkansas. But big picture, I think we all kind of agree, it's not as dramatic
and all the assholes from BBN. That's why we didn't agree to your truce.
Correct.
Because we knew you'd be in here doing this now.
Correct.
And we'll be at yours tomorrow.
I like this from Shane. He says, sucks big. Think about how much it sucks for the players that just played their tails off. I did want to pull this up because, one, obviously, when you blow a huge lead and it's tough. Did you feel like Arkansas, did you feel like they quit or mailed it in, or is it just couldn't make the plays?
No, they just folded.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they didn't. They absolutely didn't quit. I mean, they went blow for blow with Texas Tech in the in the overtime period there, and it would have been easy. In a lot of cases, when that kind of stuff happens, when you blow a big lead like that and it goes to overtime, you usually wind up losing by 8 or 10 in the overtime period. Yeah. You're like, dang,
you're out of gas.
But they responded right away, and yeah, I mean, had the game tied, and then you give up a bucket to an All-American there with 10 seconds left, and DJ tried to get a shot. He didn't get a good one, and Arkansas loses. But no, I don't think they folded or anything. I'm sure it's devastating. It was more about, just the lack of execution and, some questionable decision stuff there down the stretch. And, and then credit to Texas Tech for making a lot of great plays, because they did. And we I want to continue to say that because they earned it. This is not a situation where I don't feel like Texas Tech deserved to win, because they grinded, man, and they chipped away and they made the plays at the end that Arkansas didn't, and they won. So good on them for that. Absolutely, they're gonna get their doors blown off by Florida.
I would imagine so.
And I'm just being honest here. Arkansas would have too. After that and an overtime game like that, to have to play Florida 2 days later probably wouldn't have gone particularly well.
Particularly with this being a night game.
I would have liked to find out.
Yeah,
I'm
certainly. Steve here says, Coach Cal let our boys get away from what was working, start jacking threes with 4.5 minutes left, up by 12. Pathetic.
Yeah, Steve, I don't think that John Calipari got him in the huddle and was like, hey, here's the game plan. We're up by 10 with 4 minutes left. I want you guys taking quick threes. Yeah. I promise you that was not a directive from John Calipari. That's just what they did. Why did it happen? If you notice Texas Tech's defense, they just completely collapsed the lane. They could tell Arkansas was fatigued. And they also knew that Arkansas probably didn't want to take threes. They were going to try to get downhill, try to get down to the rim. So they cut all that stuff off, and Arkansas took the bait. They took the bait, and they didn't make the shots, and there you had it. Or they were trying to force the issue. A couple really tough turnovers, and I know Billy had one that was just like, brother, man, what are we doing? But no, I promise you that was not part of the game plan from John Calipari there.
Yeah. Our first super chat I could see here is from Corey Dubs. He says, yes, it was a disappointing loss, but I'm so proud of what this team was able to accomplish this year. Can't wait to see what this team does in year 2 with Cal. Love 100%. And look, like I said, like it's not like this is like the end of the story. Like we do really feel like it's just beginning this whole journey with this kind of new era of Arkansas basketball. It's unfortunately we've written a lot of fun chapters here in Arkansas basketball lately. This is a stinky chapter. Just tonight, I should say.
Tonight, yeah. No, it's still. All that stuff's still the same. Like the results of the poll question the other day, like if they lose to Texas Tech, is it still a successful season? Yeah, of course it is. You made it back to a Sweet 16. You did it in year 1 with Cal. That's really good stuff. And yeah, I think you should be excited for the future. You got a couple dynamite guards coming in, freshmen. Yeah. Now we really turn our attention to retention.
Yeah.
Who is staying? Who is going? Can you get a commitment quick from Carter and Billy? Like whoever you want back, can you get that set in stone right away and then build out with your ancillary pieces? I know everybody's going to be like, they're going to get somebody out of the portal tomorrow. I think you got to figure out who the hell's coming back first. Yeah. And then because if you wind up having 4 or 5 guys or whatever coming back with what you have coming in, then it's really just like 2, 3 really selective pieces to bring in. If you have more guys than you expect leaving, then you don't necessarily have to be quite as selective and as picky, and you might want to make an early off-season splash. So I kind of hope that we hear about what these guys who had the potential to return are going to do before we see Arkansas making a bunch of moves in terms of the commitment front in the portal. Well, I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but that's kind of where my mindset is.
Yeah, let them have some exit meetings before we start inking some guys. 2 guys we know are not going to be returning, and one we rightfully probably assume is not. Heartbroken Hog, shout out to the super chat. We appreciate you, brother. Says going to really miss Nelly, Adu, and Boogie with a heart and a hog. Yep, definitely going to miss those guys. It just sucks that their chapter ends in such a tough way. It was fun watching Nelly for 32 minutes.
I'm very grateful that he was able to have that kind of game on that kind of stage, and I know it did not end the way that it should have. Because he deserved for it to end in a win. He deserved for it to end with him getting the last damn shot. I'm never going to live that down.
Truly.
Nelly Davis deserved, if his career was going to end tonight, he deserved to take the last shot. He should have been able to fall on that sword. And that's what I think. If I pick my number one frustration about this, it's that. But an incredible performance, and he's going to be remembered by Razorback fans for that. Yeah. Not the early season struggles, not falling off the golf cart and hurting his freaking wrist, and none of that nonsense. He's going to be remembered for that moment and what he did in the NCAA tournament to help get Arkansas here. And he deserves that, and I love it. Same thing with Jonas, who it was just rough for him, man. The dude was hurt. He was trying to play through it. It wasn't working. It was a disaster. We're like, where is the dude who busted Arkansas's butt, at Tennessee for years? And then you finally got that guy down the stretch of the season. He is a huge reason why Arkansas was able to make it to this point. Love that for both of those guys. And again, it sucks for Boogie too. I know a lot of people are going to be doing he kind of stunk in the 3 games that he was back, but he should just probably come back to college for a year. Highly doubt that's going to be a thing. Highly doubt it.
Certainly not. And I got to push back, Curtis. I'm only going to remember John L. Davis for sucking against Lipscomb. That's all I'm going to remember out of him.
Well, some will, for sure. I mean, listen.
Certainly will. Shout out to Secure Metal 68 says, nah, we threw that game. Could have won. Tried to make pointless threes when they were up. It cost them the game. Well, there's no doubt about it. Arkansas threw the game and could have won. There's no doubt about that. I don't know if anybody, quite literally anybody, is disagreeing with this assessment, buddy.
Yeah.
Literally anybody.
They didn't purposefully throw the game.
But it was certainly a collapse.
But they did make the conscious decision to take some of those really poor shots down there. So, I mean, that's going to be the frustrating part about it. I really, the first time that I started to feel uncomfortable, because Tech they would kind of get back into it, and Arkansas would make a big shot, and they were kind of staying in that 8 to 12 point lead range. But when you're up 7 and it was 3:21, you called a timeout, and when they came out and they had 23 seconds on the shot clock, and Nelly pulls a 3 with 17 seconds left, they get the offensive rebound, get it out to DJ, so the clock resets, and you can take it to 2.5 or whatever, and DJ just takes a no dribble pull up 3, and it's like, why on earth would you do that? And it was at that point where I was like, it's going to be like that. It's going to be dicey. But we've seen Arkansas blow these leads so many times and still find a way to win and hold them off. It just always felt to me like Arkansas was going to hold them off there. It always felt that way.
Truly.
Even when they tied it and Arkansas had the opportunity for the last shot in regulation, I was like, I just kind of figured
hit the shot, dude.
I figured he's going to hit the shot, or they're going to get fouled, and like Jonas will get his redemption at the free throw. It's something, and then it just didn't happen. That's basketball.
That is
brutal, man.
Wow. We got that's basketball. We haven't heard that one as much. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Shout out to Josh J, who's here, by the way. He says, I'm at Splash. Can we have a beer together when y'all are done streaming? We'll see. They might be kicking all of us out because I think this place closes at 11.
Well, I wish Juan would come over here and take a damn order, because I could really use one, if I'm being honest. I would love to have a beer right now.
Josh, we will definitely try and have a beer with you somewhere, whether it's here, whether it's across the street, whether it's, I don't know. We're going to find a beer and we will drink it with you, buddy.
Beer sounds great, and thank you for funding it there. We appreciate that. So
you funded at least a third of it, you know.
Yeah, we win in San Francisco for sure. At least we get to enjoy Chinatown now without any.
Oh yeah, we're about to go into straight up tourist mode. Yeah, I don't even want to think about that. Like, please do not bring that up. That we're gonna have to just spend 3 days here. Come on now. Kip C, shout out to Kip C. He says, today sucks, but so proud of them. Y'all made this run fun. On to the next. Let's build back up and run it back next year. Tone has been set. I agree with this statement 100%. And as disappointed as we are, as sad as we are, as frustrated we are, everything that we're saying here is true. I mean, still very much like, I'm definitely not, as much as we're saying like this is the one thing they could have done to piss us off, I'm certainly not going to look back in 10 years and remember this team and be like, that team, they just gave it away. I'll still cringe at the loss, but we will remember this group fondly. They gave us something to be proud of. They gave us a run, and we were in the mix, man. And it just sucks. It's a privilege to hurt this bad after an NCAA tournament game, the Sweet 16, because that means that you're on the cusp of something really special. Yeah. And Arkansas, let's just be honest, I mean, you can call the season special. They were really on the cusp of something special, and that's what's going to suck about it. But like I said, it's a privilege.
Every time this stuff happens, I always go back to Eric Musselman's constant message. It is so hard to win a game in the NCAA tournament. Yeah. Any game in the NCAA tournament. And if you think about it, Arkansas gets Kansas, the preseason number 1, Hall of Fame coach against them, whatever. And that was a hard game, and they won it. And then you get St. John's and Rick Pitino and the best defense in the country. And that was a hard game, man. It was a battle, and you won it. And I was thinking the whole time during the basketball game that we just watched, like, man, this is a hard game. If they win it, then you get Florida. And it's such a gauntlet. And that's why there's never a such thing as an easy path or an illegitimate champion or Final Four team when they get there. It's an absolute freaking battle and a war, and they were this close.
Yeah,
and they came up short. Brutal, man. Brutal. And I wish the season started again tomorrow. I hate this so much because I love basketball. Everybody knows that. Duh. Yeah, Curtis loves basketball. We get it. But I don't want to wait until November to do this again. Like
man.
the portal, it's cool. I'm anxious to see how they build the roster. That's all exciting. But I'm going to miss doing these. I'm going to miss covering the games. I'm going to miss breaking the stuff down. I'm going to miss, doing a pot at the Palace. It's not about recruiting every day. It's just, it's sad, man. Like you feel like a big part of you is gone now for like the next 6 months or whatever.
I just, the last, really since like early to now, maybe about mid-January, because obviously there were a lot of times where we were not looking forward to watching this team play. I don't remember when it was that I said it on Inside Arkansas a lot, but I was like, man, I'm so excited to watch Arkansas this weekend. And it was the first time all year that I'd really felt that way, because it took us a while to really get a feel for this team and fall in love with them the way that we have.
Yeah.
But I think that I was thinking about that as the ball was being tipped off. I was literally thinking, I'm so excited that the game's here. Like, I'm just so we were counting down the minutes, and man, we're gonna be counting down the days until November, man. And it's gonna be interesting to see how the fan base. Obviously, they're gonna be hurt. They're gonna be pissed. I know a lot of people already are. But just big picture, how they respond to this. I think this loss, as bad as it is gonna also just kind of invigorate this fan base. I don't envy the Coach Cal that's gonna have to like deal with these narratives, but this fan base is gonna be hungry, man, and it's up to this program to keep feeding it. But man, I just really hope we're not looking back in 5 years and saying, man, that was the chance for Arkansas to do something special under John Calipari. Don't let that be the case, Razorbacks. Crush this offseason. Nick Ehrman says, refs all tournament were against us. The no call on Nelly was ridiculous. Did you feel like the refs were like, I mean, again, I always say this. I'm like, man, college refs are just bad. I don't know if today was necessarily the day like that Arkansas, like the whistle screwed Arkansas.
Well, after watching that St. John's game, I feel like this is pretty well officiated.
Like the best officials I've ever seen.
But no, I mean, in any game, like you're going to look at it and feel like there were some calls you wish you would have got. I mean, there was a couple on Nelly there that I felt like he should have got. There's always a few on with DJ because he gets contact on every possession where you wonder if he should be at the line. I also felt like like Darion Williams and JT Toppin probably should have shot more free throws than they did. So some frustrating things there, but I didn't think it was near as egregious as what we saw in Providence personally.
Yeah. Shout out to Jamie Adams, says thanks to Calipari. And really we do. I mean, again, we say
Seriously,
it a lot,
man.
but I mean,
Shout
we
out to
really
Cal,
do not
dude.
want to do this. Shout out to everybody who's tapped in. What is it? Freaking 11 or it's 12:21. It's past midnight Central Time, man. Shout out to everybody who's tapped in. I know it's really tough. You stay up late. It's in the middle of the night. You got a gut-wrenching loss, but it really means so much for everybody to be supporting us and to be chatting and interacting in the chat and dropping us super chats, man. It really means a lot, and it's definitely not lost on us, man. But Jamie says, thanks to Calipari. The future's bright. Tough loss, but it's a good season. Accurate information.
Yeah. Is this the last time we're going to see DJ Wagner?
I don't know, man. Dude, you know what? I was thinking about, because obviously DJ, like we said, we didn't love the 2 shots there. I feel like, I mentioned the bulletin board in the weight room and all that. DJ's a guy, if you get him back, I think that's going to be something that sticks in his mind it might stick with him for the rest of his life, frankly, because you just never remember. You never forget. So you never forget these moments. I would love to see a motivated DJ this offseason decide to run it back with Arkansas, feel like he owes everybody something. It would be awesome, but did you get the feel that this was his last time as a Razorback?
No, I didn't get that feel at all. I just, like I'm not naive to, Trilly, Donovan or whatever saying he's hearing DJ's going to go to the portal. That's contradictory to what I've heard. But now that the season's over, that stuff becomes real, like whether or not it's going to happen. I don't personally, I'm not ready to not see DJ anymore. Even though I wish it was somebody, I wish Nelly would have been able to take the shot, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but a 3-year guard, coming back and everything, it would be nice to have. But
those guys, those type of guys, 3-4-year guards win this time.
Because and the reason I brought it up, like it just snapped into my mind because we were talking about, we were going to miss Nelly, absolutely, we're going to miss Jonas for sure. Boogie, assuming he declares for draft, Adu, would be foolish to not go to the draft, and it just sucks that he tried tonight, and you could tell he just wasn't feeling right. And I know that, a lot of people overheard, and John was one of them, Ronnie Brewer talking to him, come out of the locker room like, hey, it's mind over matter. Like he was trying to motivate him, but it just wasn't there. How frustrating must that be for him? Because he's a 3-year guy and he's played like a total of 15 minutes in the NCAA tournament because of injuries and different things. And that's brutal. Like you don't want it to be over for him. Like we love Adu, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
And then DJ, what I always say about him is he just plays so freaking hard. He doesn't always make the right decisions. And, he doesn't always make the shots. I understand all that for sure. But damn, he puts it out. He puts that Razorback jersey on, and he's a guy who deserved to wear it. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%, man. And I really do. Like, we always, we talk a lot about individuals, and, we've had to defend certain individuals. We've had to hype up certain individuals. I really don't think there's a guy on this roster, and you should never remember a Razorback negatively. Like, I'm not saying there should ever be a guy where Razorback fans shouldn't get behind and shouldn't love, but if you don't feel that way about these guys on this team, hell, even the guys like Boogie and Adu Thero and stuff like that, the fact, like, Boogie could have very easily not come back. And I know he didn't come back and have the awesome spark plug impact that we thought he might be able to, but the fact that he was out there trying to do what he could for this team and never really got the rhythm, but, like, again, it means a lot for him to come back. Adu Thero, like you said, the fact that he's even given it a chance, man, I think that means something.
I'm with you. I don't want it to be like, I wouldn't even know what to do if Trevin Brazile wasn't on an Arkansas basketball team. And I'll be honest, like, I'm like everybody else for a while this season. I was like, I might be ready to see that. But the way he came on late and just kind of emerged as a leader and such a valuable piece for the team, it's like, was that it? I don't know. Like, it's just sitting in with me in real time. It's like, man, sophomore Carter Knox will be amazing. He looked like a pro in the NCAA tournaments. Like, now I'm sitting here thinking, damn, I really hope they get some of these guys back. You know what I mean?
It's going to be fascinating. And everybody's saying, hey, what do we do now? Well, a lot of these questions are going to be ones that we're going to figure out. And
we wait for these answers.
I know everyone, it's going to start tomorrow on Inside Arkansas Live. So I was like, who's coming back? We'll wait and see how this plays out. But strap in, boys. The offseason starts now. And there's a lot of interesting questions to ask. Shout out to our guy Dre, who just says devastated. Yeah. Just one word. And
we appreciate you, Dre. Hell, we probably wouldn't be able to be here right now if it wasn't for you and all of our sponsors. And so a good time to give them a shout out, and Basis Health and HD Roofing Construction, and our man Logan. I mean, everybody who's been there for us. We
Incorporated.
Everybody in the chat, who listeners, super chatters, everybody. This has been incredible. Wouldn't trade it for the world. You always dread having to do this show, and there's only one way to avoid it. And if you ever get to that, it makes all of these worth it. Right. And you feel like after this year with Cal that that's something you can still see. Like, you can still see the vision of that it's possible one day.
And look, I'm going to be honest with you, and you guys may have disagreed with this because we've had some good runs and all that. I'm 27 years old. In my lifetime, this was the first Razorback basketball team that I felt in my heart could win a national championship. I didn't think they were going to win it. I didn't expect them to win it. But, like, we were in this tournament. Like I said, we thought they could win this game. They would have lost to Florida. They would have been huge underdogs against Florida, maybe even 8 really or 10.
Tough. Yeah.
But it's like, I really feel like this team could beat anyone on any given night. And we say that kind of stuff a lot, but it's like, I've never felt that way. My entire life, I've never felt like Arkansas basketball could really win the national title. And I think from now on, we're going to be feeling that way, or at least I hope.
For sure.
Man, it sucks.
I'm not crying, by the way. I've got an eyelash.
Okay. I'll take your word for it, buddy. Don't worry,
I'm not to that point yet.
I was like, did I touch your heart?
I'm gonna miss Lawson Blake, but I'm not like.
Hey, I saw him holding. You see him holding up the clipboard.
Yeah,
tonight?
I did see that. I did see that.
So I want to respond to this comment here from Joseph Palmieri. He says, never understood all season. They said this team has no quit, but yet we are always giving up a 10-point lead with 3 minutes left. So obviously, after tonight's game, very easy to do that. Hey, I mean, they look like they quit in that game, which, by the way, we disagree. I don't think they quit. The reason we kept saying that is because they would give up a lead and then bounce back and win.
When you win the game versus a collapse is different.
Right. Well, another thing is, like, they would win the game. Like, literally against Texas, they blew whatever it was, like a 10-point lead or whatever. I think there was an NCAA tournament game or a SEC tournament game. Was it South Carolina? Did they do that against South Carolina?
Blew a big one against South Carolina.
They would come back and win. And so it's like, we'd be like, hey, credit to them. No quit in this team. They didn't give up. They didn't succumb to the adversity.
I would hear the quit argument if that game went to overtime and then they wound up losing 85-75.
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, like they at regulation they were done. But we didn't see that at all. I mean, and they did. I want to go back and watch that overtime again because that was heavyweight stuff, man. I mean, it was like blow for blow.
I mean, they made some tough buckets, man.
Toppin just he's that dude. And you were right. Like they held him down for large portions of that game. Like, I know Jonas didn't have his best offensive game compared to what he's done, but yeah, he did a hell of a job on him. And after giving up a bucket, I think it was like the first time Texas Tech scored when Trevin was switched on him. I thought Trevin did a really good job on him. Nelly Davis did a good job on him. Yeah. But like, big time players make big time plays in clutch moments like that. So
yeah, shout out to our guy Hayden Ulmer. We appreciate you, brother. He says, I am mad now, but won't be in like 3 days. This was like a wild road trip with the boys that ended with the transmission going out right as you were pulling into Vegas. You know, that's not the worst analogy in the world. I think that's actually a worse situation than this, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah. But we appreciate you nonetheless. Shout out to JP Sullivan. The turkey strut will have to wait for another day. That sucks. And he said that it hurts.
Damn, I'm getting sad, dude. Like,
I know, man.
Honestly, listen, I know there's a long time between now and the next basketball season. We got baseball. We got that run. We got Omaha. Hopefully, knock on wood, whatever. Hopefully.
You hope.
Oh, shit, when's the last time they made it?
2022.
Exactly. So, you know, like nothing's a given here. We understand it. They're very due. I think they'll get there. We got a football season. Yeah, okay. Everybody who's been a part of this, except the crazy BBN people, some of them you're still welcome, and you know who you are.
Except the ones we hate.
Stay with us now.
Yeah, this ain't goodbye.
JP Sullivan, I need to see you back for that first exhibition game next year with the turkey emojis. Yeah. You know what I mean? Heartbroken Hog, I see you in there. Everybody, shout out to everybody. We're not going away.
Hell no.
I'm very sad right now. Like I just keep rocking
and
with us, man, because this has been unbelievable.
Listen, we understand the concept of when you win, the numbers are better. When you lose, the numbers are worse. But like, guys, we're gonna still be here. And like we always say, the journey is why you do it. You don't get to enjoy next year's Final Four run without tapping in with all the pot at the Palace leading up to it.
Is it not very fitting and ironic that Arkansas season ends and the skies just open up here in San Francisco and it's just raining cats and dogs?
At least it's raining straight down and not at an angle like it was earlier today. Like that a lot.
Oh, man.
Big Salty Hog, one of our favorites, man. I feel like he's quickly rising up the leaderboard in the power rankings.
You too, Big Salty Hog.
Don't go anywhere, Big Salty Hog. We need you. We need you, Big BSH. He says, it was a good run, boys. Hopefully we can retain talent and continue to improve. Thanks for all you do. C-Dub, it's onto the portal.
Heard that.
Yep, very much heard
that, buddy.
Speaking of hogs, feeling my hog, since I told myself I wasn't going to be upset, I can feel myself sliding into depression now. I was saying, you know, it's a privilege to be hurt. It's a privilege to have a team that you feel good enough about, and you have such a high standard for them that you're sad when they lose in the Sweet 16. Still hurts, but I really do mean it, though. Like, I mean, it's one thing, like, would y'all even want? Because I mean, when I was growing up, there would be NCAA tournament losses. Like I remember when Arkansas got beat by 30 by North Carolina, and it was a 1 versus 8, and I wasn't even that sad about it because I was like, yeah, you know, like we were kind of happy to be here. Aren't you glad that we aren't the happy to be here? That we're the program that people celebrate your demise. I know it sucks when they do it, but it's like that you matter. You know what I mean? That's what this Razorback program at this point. It's undeniable. It's a basketball school. It's a basketball program.
They damn sure should have earned
to win these games.
They should have earned a lot of respect. If people were doubting it, Arkansas should have earned a lot of respect. Cal should have earned it back. I know people are going to be talking about the way that ended, but nobody's going to want to see him moving forward. Nobody should be looking at this now going, oh, those idiots. Yeah, nice hire, whatever.
The team that just beat them. If you told that Texas Tech team, hey, you got to play this Razorback team again tomorrow, they would not. No. They would be like, I don't know. And now, of course, Arkansas would be a little sad too because they'd be like, yeah, shit, that was a tough game. But again, like to your point, it's not like nobody's going to be. Arkansas was kind of the butt of a lot of jokes this year. That's going to be diminished a great bit moving forward, I would imagine.
I think so too. And folks, we're going to continue to run through your chats here, and we certainly appreciate you. We might be getting John on here in a few minutes. I know, or at least I think that he was in the locker room after the game, and that. I'm sure that wasn't a lot of fun. I say that this show here is my least favorite thing to do. Being in the locker room after a season-ending loss is literally the worst feeling in the world. Yeah. But if John wants to hop in with us,
John, you need to get over. You need to come over here.
But yeah, take your time. We're going through some supers here. So
I was gonna say, let me know what you need me to do in terms of logistics. While you do that, I'm gonna read a few. I'm gonna rapid fire through a few more super chats. Hold on, wait a minute. I think I skipped one actually. But Casey says no words.
Yeah, I wish we could have no words, but that's kind of the gig.
Unfortunately, we have to say words, and sometimes it sucks. Shout out to Arkansas. Our guy says rebounding was our kryptonite all year against solid teams.
Man.
St. John's bailed us out by sucking. Now I actually do think that is true. Tough game, good season. Ended up loving this team. Moving on to Portal at the Palace. Sickos unite.
It's going to be Portal at the Palace time. That's for sure. I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't going to be tomorrow. It ain't going to be tomorrow.
No, dude. And again, I know everyone's going to quickly because we have to do the looking ahead thing, and we will be looking ahead. I need y'all to understand there is no possible way for there to be developments in terms of the roster tomorrow. Like when we do Inside Arkansas Live, we are not going to have an update on whether or not Carter Knox is returning to school. Like I'm just not how this thing works.
John might have one right now for all we know, but I don't know.
What's the vibe like, man?
Man, that was tough. In the locker room, I mean, there's a lot of tears, silence. It's just one of those things to where it's one thing because we've been in the locker rooms when the team has lost, but
Not like
not
that.
after that way.
Not like that.
And I can tell you, everyone was devastated, but DJ Wagner, Adu Thero, Jonas Adu, those guys may have been the most devastated of the ones in there. They just didn't they handled themselves professionally, but it's just, there's only so many things you can say. But it's tough. It's just tough seeing the devastation on them. I mean, because they felt a certain way. They felt like they had it, and to lose that way, I couldn't imagine being in that position. So very short interviews. It's going to be a short video that we post on Inside Arkansas Live, but yeah, it's just one of those things, man. You feel bad for them. I mean, that's all you can say is you just feel bad for them. I guess Carter Knox and Nellie Davis went to the podium, so didn't get a chance to hear from them, at least in the locker rooms. And I'm sure that they were pretty devastated too. But yeah, Brazil, same thing. I mean, it's just rough. I mean, it's just plain and simple. It's just rough.
Yeah,
Brutal.
And again, like I just said, you're just not. There was no way John was going to go into the locker room and they were going to be like, "All right, John, this guy's coming back. This guy's coming back.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm going to the draft." It's one of those things. You just, as bad as we're hurting, dude. Those guys. I mean, it just kills them.
The only thing that was ever said about futures or anything, Adu Thero said that he is just focusing on getting healthy.
Yeah,
right now. Trevin Brazil said, the game's too fresh and everything, but I'm just if I'm going off a gut feeling, guys, I think he comes back just by his demeanor. I mean, again, that's just a reckless assumption. That's a guess. But the rest of them are just kind of said the same thing. Hey, we got a lot to think about. We got a lot to discuss and reflect, but
for sure,
nothing concrete as far as any plans, as you can imagine.
Yeah, and I mean, look, there was a lot of talk early in the season, especially with certain guys about do they care and they're just here for a check and all that. I really do think, I hope we put that narrative to bed, and I think we have.
Yeah,
but I think when you watch this team play, there's no doubt that this means a lot to them, and I know they're hurting worse than we are right now, man, and it just sucks.
Hate it. I don't like it, man.
We'll roll through a couple super chats here. We got Nathaniel, appreciate you, buddy. He says, Cal deflating the ball and choking a lead, deja vu.
Did he deflate the ball?
Yeah, I don't really think he deflated the ball. They didn't even.
They were taking quick shots.
I was going to say, I would actually have preferred they did deflate the ball.
Yeah, please deflate the ball. My God. What do you mean they deflated the ball? Hell, they got an offensive rebound to deflate the ball even further, and DJ chucked a shot with 2 seconds taken off of the shot clock. The last thing they were doing there was deflating the ball.
Yeah. Did you think they should have called a timeout there with 7 seconds left? I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, you got to call a timeout there."
Yeah, I absolutely think they should have done that.
Yeah, they called a timeout at the end of regulation, right? Yeah, I mean, especially it's tough when you don't end up getting a look even close.
It's armchair quarterback stuff or whatever, but I thought they should have fouled up 3 on the last possession. I thought that the ball should have been in John L. Davis's hands at the end of regulation, and I thought they should have called timeout for that last play and got it into his hands again. And if not him, then Carter. But it's it is what it is, and I'm sure that Cal was asked about it. DJ Wagner has kind of been that guy all year. They love to put the ball in his hands because he's their best bet at creating a little bit of separation and getting downhill and kind of making a play. That is the reasoning behind it. To me, when you have a guy who's gone for 30, he takes the last shot there. So whatever.
I'll give you one more thing to be an armchair quarterback about.
Okay,
Curtis.
all right.
Traderback says Carter was way too far off Williams on that 3. I believe he's referencing the 3 that sent the game to overtime, essentially. The big kid who what did he finish from 3? 2 of 10 from 3.
Yeah.
Could not buy a bucket. I got to be honest with you. I mean, Carter, you can argue, I actually thought Carter got a hand in his face, and that's a look that, frankly, obviously a 3 ties the game, so you really just don't want to give up a 3. But, I thought Carter defended it okay, and, he was 2 for 10 on the night, and that was one of the 2 that he hit.
Yeah, and it sucks because they played about 15 to 18 seconds of really good defense right there, and then that kid, I can't believe he's listed at 225. By the way,
yeah, he's 255 at least.
Huge. That dude is huge.
He's got an arse on him, man. Got an absolute arse. One more from Traderback. Went for the the Timothy Long special here. He says TV's block was not goaltending.
Oh, I never saw a replay.
So I did see a replay because I was here watching. There were some Texas Tech fans right here that were just going nuts. I think so they called it goaltending on the floor, and I just don't see I didn't see enough to overturn it. It was extremely close. It was one of those, and there's been like 20 of these this year for Arkansas where it wasn't going in. The trajectory of the ball, it hit the bottom of the backboard kind of, not like below it, but like the bottom portion where just the trajectory. But technically, it did hit the backboard before Trevin hit it, and that's just by the rule that is goaltend.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it kind of fitting that Arkansas season there was some type of own goal? There was actually multiple goaltends in this game that winds up being a huge thing. It just
Killer.
It just sucks, man.
Yeah.
Exclusive Carts, we appreciate you, brother, as always. A legend of the postgame says, I told myself wasn't going to be upset if they lost, but didn't think they'd lose this way. Such an Arkansas way to lose. Still proud of this team and where they made it. A sentiment that I think we all, for the most part, pretty much agree with.
When is the last time Arkansas blew a big-ass lead like that in an NCAA tournament game? And
yeah, I can't
recall.
Definitely in the NCAA tournament, they haven't had anything like that. I think he just means like the most devastating way.
I know what he's saying. I'm just asking a question. Like,
yeah, I can't remember. They didn't really blow a lead in that Butler game when Butler punted.
They got down so big early.
I can't remember one where North Carolina. They kind of blew a lead. It wasn't a 16-point lead. That was probably the most Arkansas way to lose, where you basically beat the national champion, but you don't beat them. But yeah,
it was the way that went down was typical of the season for sure.
Yeah, it is just it's tough where we do the mental gymnastics where we're like, hey, it's actually a good thing that they've blown so many leads and they've come back and won this. Maybe it wasn't a good thing. Maybe it wasn't a good sign. Chef Boyar Lee, another friend of ours, we appreciate you, buddy. He says, tough way for the season to end. Thanks for all the coverage throughout the season, boys. Again, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Let's see. Student section says, I would love having DJ back. He's been good all year. Don't let one moment define his season. I would agree with this assessment. I mean, and look, make no mistake, it was a bad moment, but and like I was saying with DJ, I bet that's going to be something that he remembers for quite some time.
Sure.
John Hamm, I always think John Hamm he has good analysis, sound analysis. He says in the second half, I felt like our offense turned from a team thing to a me thing, resulting in worse shots. There's a little something to this, I think, at least in my opinion. And really, what sucks about it is if any of the bad shots they took, just one of them accidentally went in, it'd be kind of a moot point, and we'd be like, oh, you know what? DJ got that 3 fall, man. Chris Cox says, I had Florida winning it all anyway, but this sucks. Yeah, no, I mean.
Well, they're going to. So.
Yeah, they look really good in that second half, man.
Yeah,
but,
they did. They did.
It certainly does suck. And I do agree with you, Curtis, that neither of these teams were going to be able to get up and play well enough to beat Florida on Saturday. Especially because Florida coasted in the second half a little bit, and then you play a night game that goes into overtime. It's a 3 p.m. tip here. Did they announce that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a tough one. Exclusive Cards followed up with another one. Seemed like toward the end we weren't getting the foul calls when we drove it to the basket, though, and that was the fastest jump ball call ever.
That was a fast jump ball call for sure.
Wow.
I forgot about that particular play. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of agree. Like they weren't. Neither was Texas Tech. I don't really put much of anything on the officials in this one. After watching that St. John's game, I thought it was all right.
Yeah. Jack Phillips, $4.99. We love the stickers.
Love that. Thank you.
Love the stickers, and we're bad at reading, so we appreciate that.
Yeah,
also.
I mean,
shout out to our guy Hulk Solo, who we really appreciate him in a lot of ways. This is the same one, right? Or is it not?
It's not.
Now, never mind. We don't appreciate you that much, but I'm just kidding. We do appreciate you, Hulk Solo. He says, I'm sorry, guys. Inside Arkansas is awesome, but I can't take this. Proud of the team still, and I'll recover. But this is a tough night. I like how we've had a few people who have said something similar to this, that it's like, I'll get over it, but this sucks.
Yeah.
Because I think that's kind of where we're all at. Traderback says, if Jonas makes a free throw, we go to the Elite Eight.
Yeah,
probably accurate information.
Which,
by the way, that's another thing. We joked about it. This has happened a lot where Jonas down the stretch makes free throws.
Yeah.
That's happened in a few of these games where they've blown leads. He
usually gets 2 and splits,
right.
And you miss the front end of the 1-and-1. That's a killer.
Heads up foul from Texas Tech when he got that rebound.
Yeah.
They rushed a shot, took a really bad shot. Jonas gets the rebound. And at that point, I really thought, was there like 20-something seconds left at this point? I really thought the game was
there's
over.
A lot of time still left.
And they quickly identified. I always hate it when teams will not foul the big guy when he gets the ball and let him get it to a guard, and then they foul the guard when they realize, oh shit, we need a foul. Heads up foul.
Well, then they got the rebound, and they wound up getting the free timeout.
Yeah,
as they were adjusting the clock or whatever the hell it was they were trying to do there.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucked too.
John, you going through it over here, my brother?
I am.
I could tell. We have this. We're in sync a little bit, but I can always tell whenever.
Well, I mean, I know you guys have talked about it all, and it's hard to really put into words what that feels like. You just feel so confident for a bit, and just felt like I got choked away. But I guess it's like fresh, man. It's just so fresh and so sucky. I just feel bad for everybody involved. I feel bad for the team. I feel bad for the coaches. I feel bad for the fans that made the trip, and everybody. I just feel bad for them. But
there's a lot of little kids that cried tonight.
Yeah,
I saw.
I was one of them.
Actually.
Yeah. And it's like, it's like,
I was one of them.
But I mean, listen, it's all going to be good. Like, it's one of those things to where Arkansas will be able to bounce back a little bit, but I don't know. It just sucks. I mean, plain and simple. No other way to put it. It just sucks. And I'm gonna have to mute a lot of words on social media from people because, dude, that's just like I can't
throw your phone in the ocean.
Yeah,
bro.
might as well just break it in half.
Yeah. All right, guys. We really appreciate everybody tapping in, and we appreciate all the support, all the super chats. We're basically gonna have to rapid fire through a few of these.
We definitely want to get through them.
We definitely want to get through them, and we don't want to overlook anybody, but we also don't want to get kicked out of here. Jack Phillips says if Carter's back next year, watch out. Great year. FBBN. Agree with you on every sentence.
Absolutely. Really hope that they retain Carter. He will be. He's an all SEC.
Oh yeah.
Type of dude next
Maybe
year. That would
be
be
player of the year. You try to get
huge.
the freshman of the year. Let's get the player of the year.
You put Carter with A-Cup and Thomas. That's some talent, man. Yes.
Yeah. Big time. Dre comes back again. He says, can't sleep, won't sleep. Love the ride with y'all on to the next great year, man. We appreciate your support. And we appreciate just like the passion, man.
Yep.
If you're not hurting right now, you don't care and you want to care.
Yeah.
Speaking of guys who care, shout out to Quinn, and hey, good luck on your weekend. I know you got a big weekend at the office with the Auburn Tigers. Sorry that happened to y'all. It's a tough way to go off. I actually feel bad for y'all, and normally I don't feel that way when y'all lose. Quinn, you don't feel bad for us when we lose at this point, buddy? What the hell?
He definitely feels bad. Yeah, he's torn up right now about it.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Will we be torn up if Auburn loses to Michigan tomorrow?
I will, because I promised Quinn a Final Four run.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, which they're getting. I mean, they're beating Michigan, by the way.
I
Michigan's
appreciate
covering,
Quinn.
but they're winning.
Everything we said about everybody being back, like next season and rocking with us, it's you too, Quinn.
You better be back. Yeah, even if Auburn sucks next year. Matter of fact, especially if Auburn sucks next year.
Even if Chad Baker-Mazara comes back for his 11th season, we expect you back for year 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Inside Arkansas. Come on.
Exclusive Carts, another one crushing it, brother. Says a lot of people are trashing DJ. It's not all on him. He missed the last shot. Oh yeah, but it shouldn't have come to that. Everyone needs to be thanking DJ for stepping up all year.
I agree with this assessment.
There's like you said, it's been the story of the season all year. There's got to be one guy that we all unanimously hate.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to – there's an easy target.
And I do just want to say, I know I've already clarified on this, but people have very selective hearing. When I say John L. Davis should have had the ball in his hands at the end of the game, I'm not taking a shot at DJ.
Right.
Like, I'm not mad at DJ for having it. I'm mad because John L. Davis didn't. Like, this was the Nelly game. He should have been the one taking that shot. And it didn't strike me as a directive where it was like, I mean, obviously at the end of regulation, it wasn't like DJ got the ball and was like, piss off. Like, I got this, bro. Yeah. No, that's what he was told to do. And then at the very end of the game, you inbound the ball to your point guard, and he probably doesn't know if a timeout's going to be called or not. You got 7 seconds left. You got to go. Yeah. It's like, I don't fault DJ for that. I just think Nelly should have had the ball in his hands. So I want to make that very clear that I'm not dogging DJ for that.
Anybody who has 30, you're basically that guy should have the ball.
Common sense, right.
Shout out to Ryan Anderson. I don't know if this is the former stretch 4 for the Rockets, but I'm going to go I think it is, yeah. Who made a shit ton of money in his NBA career. Yeah. Did not deserve it. But thank y'all for everything this season. Y'all have made this season way more fun than it already would have been by letting us hang out with you every day, in and out. Keep up the great work, fellas. Well, man, we really appreciate that. Like, that really is basically the goal of what we're doing here. But the good news is you can still hang out with us every day. Inside Arkansas Live at noon. Curtis is still going to be crushing it with Pot at the Palace. He'll lick his wounds.
We ain't leaving.
He'll get back on the horse.
We ain't going anywhere.
I'm not leaving. Shout out to Chip Sizemore. He says, I just feel lost. Wanted more basketball. It hurts that we fully controlled that game until the final seconds. I truly hope we retain a majority of this team. Go Hogs. You know, you were mentioning it's tough to put into words the end of the season always, and you always dread this. What sucks is we didn't get time to prepare. Normally, it's like, you're down like the Duke game or whatever, the UConn game.
You process it a little bit before you have to talk about it. I
mean, literally, and Logan can attest, there was not a second of this game until like the final 2 minutes where I was like, Arkansas might lose. Like I was really not considering the idea that they could lose, man. It really sucks. Shout out to Jake Lazon. Says, love the coverage you guys have given us this season. I'm with John and just got off the floor myself. So much potential moving forward, but this one was so rough. Woo pig suey.
Gosh, man. Yeah.
Reading all these different every single time. I mean, I know we all kind of feel the same way, man. It sucks reading more and more people, but we got a trauma bond over this, guy.
Yeah, it's exactly what's happening here. Yeah.
This is not a super chat, but I wanted to just read this real quick because it's a good point. Allegiance Video says we started the season ranked 16th and we finished 16th. I watch every game this season from Colorado and listen to your podcast weekly. Thank you guys for all your hard work. We appreciate that, Allegiance Videos. And
love that.
It is an accurate assessment, although Maryland finished 16th, right? Yeah, screw those guys. They lost first. Yeah.
BYU gave up 190 points today.
Yeah, they gave up an NCAA record for threes.
Arkansas is at least 14th. Dadgummit.
Yeah.
And when the final AP top 25 comes out, put the Hogs in it. You better put them in the poll.
They'll be in the top 25, right? Like, no doubt about it.
They should be. They're one of the last 16 teams. If they're not, they'd be ridiculous. I don't care if they lost 14 games.
Cade says, it hurts more when you lose to a team you feel like you were better than. It hurts less when you remember we were about to play Florida. Now, this is true. And, I mean, if Texas Tech – would it really – I'm serious question. Will it make us feel better if Texas Tech loses by, like, 52 to Florida?
Probably. Yeah. I think it'll make me feel a little better, actually.
Shout out to Jake, who follows back with the super sticker. We appreciate that.
Love that. Thank you. We appreciate it.
I hope there wasn't a comment that we missed, as always.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vanessa. Says, this one hurts not as bad if they beat our Heine. I'm so proud of our team. Tough night, but we will be back. Whooping Suey from the Pacific Northwest. Love you all. Really appreciate that.
We love you, too. I will say it hurts worse in the moment with the way that it went down. But I think long-term, I'm going to feel better about it than I would if they got their butts kicked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like once it really processes in a couple of days, it'll be like, dang man, like they were this close.
Everyone always
as opposed
says,
to if they got blown out, then we'd been like, well.
Yeah. Everyone always says they want the blowout. I don't think y'all really mean that. I think you kind of, I mean, it hurts bad, but it's like you want to be there. You want to have a chance. Rick, you're the man.
Love that.
Appreciate you. He knew we were on a time crunch. I was like, let me just get this one out there. Bo says, here for y'all. Can't lose like that. Just hurts in the moment. Happy for Nelly going out like that. Agreed with all these assessments. Hayden Ulmer, the great coverage this year, boys. The sports gods weren't going to let us into the Elite Eight the same year we win it all in baseball.
There we go.
That's good. That's a good take right there.
I like
good
that.
Take right there.
I like it a lot.
Dalton's Motorsports, all the painted surfing will be gone when the prodigal son, Lamar Wilkerson, leads us to the Final Four next year. This run was for Bob. Love that chat, all in all. Hey, Lamar Wilkerson, come on down. We need a guy to give the ball to when the game's on the line. Someone to knock down a shot.
And he's good for it, man. I mean, you make over 100 threes in a season at 45%. You were good for it. People say that it's about the name on the front of the jersey and not the back. In this case, I completely disagree. So go ahead and get Wilkerson in here. I think that's a great idea.
It's about the name on the back.
And and I just do want to say real quick. I thought about Bob Holt a lot on this trip, and just tons of memories being in that arena, being with Bob, so many trips and everything with him, and so sad that he wasn't able to do this with us. But it's almost like a little bit of closure in a weird way. Like I'm really looking forward to our dinner tomorrow night to go back to the place where we had so many great memories with Bob, and just been thinking about him a lot and love him. And I've seen so many people mention him and shout him out and everything along this trip. And
it means a lot every single time.
Seriously. Yeah. You can never hear that man's name too many times. And not a day goes by where I don't think about him and wish that he was here. And actually, there's no way in hell we would have been able to have him on this particular post-game show because he's always the last one out of the arena because he takes forever to write his stories. Yeah. So I was going to say he would have been here right now. No,
this season is a Bob season. I mean, it started with you and him in Kansas City pretty much. I mean, not the start of the season, but like in Thanksgiving. I mean, literally
it did.
Days before his death. I mean, it sucks, man.
We would have had him on Inside Arkansas Live tomorrow. That's what it
1,000%. David Harris says, watched all year, love the show. Curtis, thanks again for coming on my channel. Hurts tonight. Proud of this team. We'll be watching all season. Got a little appearance on David Harris's channel.
Appreciate that. Yeah, and we are going to be watching this offseason. There's going to be a lot going on this offseason. I know everybody's like, it's like a split. Like some people are like, damn, like turn the page and I'm going to go to the portal and I'm going to focus on the cool things that are going to happen. Like that's how you cope with it. And then some people, which is kind of where I'm at right now, is like, I'm not even ready to turn the page. I'm just, I guess I got to do it within like the next 8 hours or something because I'm going to get a million questions.
Figure it out.
Gosh, man.
Shout out Kingsley. Kingsley with the $1. We appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Rick. Go Hogs beat Vandy. I love that. Love that energy. Yeah. And again, we appreciate all these. Ronnie J says, what will make this loss really hurt is if Tech somehow beats Florida.
That'd be crazy if that happened.
That would, I mean, Go ahead and just lay on the sword, Texas Tech. Come on.
Ain't no way.
Jack Phillips, brutal ending. We'll be stronger next year. FBBN. Y'all need to go reflect in Muir Woods this weekend. Well, we might. We're going to be doing a lot of touristy stuff. I'm assuming that's a thing around here. I have no idea.
We got nothing else to do the next couple of days.
Might as well, man. So we're all the suggestions, send them our way. William Richards, big time one, says, tough loss, but I really appreciated the coverage. Go Hogs. We appreciate that, man. I'm sorry we're rapid firing through these things, but really we're up against the clock, and we love y'all. We really do. And we're going to be here all week, literally.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tim Colleton with $1.99. We appreciate you, brother. Karma Duke, being a Hog fan is just brutal. Every sport, every season. Can't wait for baseball to disappoint me. Whoop big anyway. Loved your coverage all season, and let's go Portling. Shout out to Karma Duke. He takes these losses very hard.
Yeah.
He always does. But
Karma
that's
Duke has always been like an in-game YouTube comment.
Oh, yeah.
Like big time. Him and Phil, man.
I mean, like, look, we read a lot of these guys that we're talking about. We see y'all. We
notice. We see you.
We appreciate y'all's presence, man. We appreciate how much you guys care. We really do. Jake with another one, man, says, boys poured their hearts out tonight. Sad, but so much hope moving forward. 100%, man. JP Sullivan says, feels so strange. I've literally spent every day with y'all since August. Don't want it to end. Thanks for making this season awesome for me. I'm not going anywhere. Let's run it back. You better not be going anywhere. Yeah. You're wording it like you're leaving us, brother. Don't leave us.
We'll be back live in like 10 hours. So
stick with us, buddy. We appreciate you.
Don't you worry about it, man. Don't you worry about it.
Danny Burns, for a year one team that is brand new, what a showing. Who would have thought we'd make a Sweet 16? Next year is going to be awesome. Whoopig Suey. Yes, very much. We appreciate that.
And we just hope now that it's not a brand new team next year. Get some of those dudes back, man.
Have some continuity, man.
Yeah.
Exclusive cards, another. Not saying you're trashing DJ Curtis. Everyone on social media. No, yeah, we
I wasn't saying that, but I know there's some very. We found out today some sensitive people out there with selective hearing that maybe have not been able to fully grasp the message that we've been putting out there all year. So I wanted to make that very clear about DJ. Yeah. That's all.
I mean, we defended all these players, man. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, apparently not. But hey,
Shout out to Quinn. He says, I'll be here and hope you're right, Andrew. Glad you're doing okay. John was concerned about you. I'm still a little bit concerned about John. We're going to make sure he's okay, and we'll make it work.
We'll just hop in a Waymo and John will be fine.
Yeah, he loves it in there. Those band geeks got off work excited to see we were up 13, crushed.
Yeah, you shouldn't have punched out, bro.
Yeah.
That's
you
tough.
should not have.
That's brutal.
Curtis, I believe we have made it to the end.
We have made
it to the end just in time, man.
All right.
Y'all saw our waiter back here, like, lingering, like, what's going on?
Yeah, there's still a good amount of people back there. So
they're not kicking us out.
I kind of felt like they would stay open later, but I know we.
Yeah, especially because the woman was telling me, she's like, after the game, it's going to be a madhouse here. And I'm like, but you close at 11? Interesting.
I know.
Yeah, but seriously, man, I mean, this is, I would say this was fun, but it really wasn't that fun.
No,
I don't want to lie to
really.
you guys.
Appreciate the good company, but other than that, it kind of sucked. Just being honest.
I'm sure these next few days won't suck.
No, not at all. We'll make the most of our time here in San Francisco, but let's wrap it up. Fellas, final thoughts before we put a bow on this season. And by that, I mean put a bow on the Pot at the Palace post-game shows, because I'm sure we'll talk about it for 2 hours on the Inside Arkansas Live tomorrow.
I mean, I have a very similar sentiment that a lot of people have echoed here, is that, it just sucks. We will be proud of this team. We are proud of this team, like, no doubt about it. We love this team. I'm going to remember them fondly. I'm going to remember the season, this run fondly. I'm never going to forget these memories we've had to make, and I'm glad they made something out of this season. They've had so many chances to just fold and quit and, not come back and not fight, but they always did. And even tonight when they blew the lead, like, I didn't feel like it was because they weren't fighting. And so appreciate these guys, man. They're hogs. Like, they're all hog, and Coach Cal's all hog too, man. I'm excited for the future with him, and it's just going to suck for a while, and we're just going to have to eat it. as we always do.
My only final thought, again, I want, you guys said it all about the team and, happy where it's at. And thank you to each and every one of you that's tapped in with us like through this journey. I mean, without y'all, we wouldn't have been here. We wouldn't have been able to do what we're doing and continuing to grow and expand. And thank you so much. It means everything to us, for you guys to all be involved. And, you make it fun. You make it fun to interact with and all of that. And it's going to be a fun season and postseason and all that. So, yeah, but thank you so much. Thank you to all of our sponsors, too. Everybody involved in making it possible. Again, we'll talk more about it tomorrow because I know we got to run. But I do want to give one final shout out to, of course, Curtis and Andrew. But just being able to do these post-game shows, it's a lot of work and you have to sacrifice a lot. Sometimes you have to leave games early. Sometimes you have to sacrifice time. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a lot of things. And I think each and every one of you should give a lot of love and appreciation to Andrew, but especially Curtis for everything that he's done in basketball and the coverage and the post games, podcasts, everything. These guys are the best in the business. That's why I wanted to work with them. That's why I hired them. That's why we're doing this. It's because we want to be the best, and they killed it. So thank you guys, and you guys did a heck of a job. Can't wait to do it again next season too.
Well, thank you, man. I wasn't prepared for that. You kind of got me in my feels, but I appreciate that a lot. And, because we take this seriously and we work hard. I know a lot of people were like, this guy just get in front of the camera. This is easy.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and it's a grind. And super, super proud about where we started in August to where we are now is unbelievable. And we do owe a lot of that to basketball season and the way that we covered it as a group. And really proud of what we were able to do here. So thankful that you did everything that you did in the locker room. We just got a little bit of everything, and I'm so happy with the coverage that we were able to put out there. I think it was awesome, top-notch, and it's only going to get better from here. Appreciate John Calipari. I need to say that as the season wraps up here. John Calipari won me over before he started winning basketball games with what he's done for the community, with the way he handled Bob Holt's situation. He's a great dude, and then he's proven that he's still a great coach. And I really appreciate him for that. I'm excited about where this basketball program is headed. I want to give a shout out to the two guys that we know for absolute certain will not be here next year, John L. Davis and Jonas Adu. Those guys went through a lot. It wasn't easy for them. People were pocket watching on them. They had their struggles. They had the bust allegations and everything, but they continued to work, keep their head down, continue to grind. And those two guys, if it wasn't for the contributions they made down the stretch this season, ain't no way in hell Arkansas would be in San Francisco right now or Providence last weekend or anywhere. So those guys keeping their head on straight and not folding and showing that kind of leadership, that's a great example that they set for the rest of the guys and kind of laid the culture for what's to come here. So appreciate that. And folks, everybody out there who's been rocking with us, we said it a million times tonight, but I'm going to echo it one more time. We love you. Stay there with us. We're going to be back every day. This ain't going to stop just because the season's over. As bad as this stings right now, and man, does it sting. One day Arkansas is going to get over the hump. One day they're going to be cutting down the nets. And when they do, every time that you felt like this is going to be worth it. And that's the beauty of being a fan. So we're going to get out of here. The final sign off for the Pod the Palace post game show. Be back with us for Inside Arkansas Live tomorrow. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Been one heck of a ride. For John Neighbors, Andrew Ellis, and Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas. We'll catch you guys next time. Everybody have a good one.